I don't know about you guys, but Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is definitely one of my favorite movies. The sheer amount of detail that's packed into every frame of this movie is absolutely mind boggling. For this video, I'm going to be breaking down just the title sequence of this movie. Let's get straight to it. Okay, for starters, Michael Cera plays Scott Pilgrim and usually wears a green shirt, and he plays the bass guitar throughout the movie. This might seem a little silly, but it actually comes into play later. So the strings here represent his bass, and the transitions to pink represent Ramona Flowers. Mary Elizabeth Winstead plays Ramona Flowers in the movie. She changes her hair from pink to blue to green in the movie, and this is represented by the change in the color of the strings. Kieran Culkin plays Wallace in the movie, and his character is represented by a battery icon that slowly loses power. This is a nod to his constant ratting out of Scott to his sister, which he usually does using his phone many times throughout the movie. Chris Evans plays Lucas Lee in the movie, and his character is represented by a skateboard and two X's. He is Ramona's second evil ex and is also a skateboarder in the movie. There's also a frame that shows you his skateboard company logo that he has tattooed on his neck later on in the movie during his fight with Scott.
Pretty good essay. I have my own skate company.
Brie Larson plays Envy Adams in the movie, and her character is represented by a broken heart and an X that represents her being Scott's ex. There's also a recurring theme of using a waveform for whoever is musically talented in the movie. Alison Pyle plays Kim in the movie, and her character is represented by a bomb. This is actually the logo of Scott's band in the movie, and you can also find the logo in the drum set during the title sequence of the movie. It's also a nod to a scene in the comic book where Scott plays Bomberman quite often with his friends.
Crap! Who's blue?
Me!
Aubrey Plaza plays Julie Powers in the movie, a character who curses a lot and is bleeped out with a black rectangle in the movie. Her character is represented by the black rectangular bleep box. Scott even refers to it in this scene.
Specifically told you not to do that.
How are you doing that with your mouth?
Never mind how I'm doing it. What do you have to say for yourself?
Brandon Routh plays Todd Ingram in the movie, and his character is represented by his bass and three X's. The band even screams 3 from the back during this part of the title sequence. Jason Schwartzman plays Gideon Graves in the movie, and his character is represented by 3 Gs. This symbol seems to have been inspired by the Triforce artifact from the Legend of Zelda series. Johnny Simmons plays young Neil in the movie, and his character is represented by Tetris blocks. This is actually a callback to one of his very first scenes in the movie, where Knives asks him about what his favorite game is to play, and he mentions Tetris.
What do you play?
Wow, Zelda, Tetris. That's kind of a big question.
Mark Webber plays Steven Stills in the movie, and his character is represented by his acoustic guitar and the flannel pattern. This again is a callback to how his character wears flannel in almost all of his scenes in the movie. Mae Whitman plays Roxy Richter in the movie. Her character is represented by 4 X's and a blade. The blade is actually a callback to the comic book where Roxy Richter's primary weapon is actually a katana, as opposed to in the movie where she uses her belt that turns into a blade. Ellen Wong plays Knives Chow in the movie, and her character is represented by the 2 Sai blades that she uses as her weapons to fight Ramona Flowers. Satya Baba plays Matthew Patel, and Kita Saito and Shota Saito play the Katyanagi twins. And you would also notice that after each character title card, the number of their evil X also comes up in a frame after. In this frame, you can see a reference to the star power-up from Super Mario. There are also 2 references here. These steps either refer to Dance Dance Revolution or to the game that Scott and Knives play in the movie. As you can see in the end, it ends with a punch. In this frame, you will notice that a maple leaf pops up. This is primarily because the entire movie is set here, and Brian Lee O'Malley, who's the creator of the comic books, is Canadian himself. There's a frame that pops in here that also shows you the X-Men costume patch, and this is just a dig at the X-Men and the Evil X's, is what I'm assuming. There are also bits and pieces of character references that pop up, like you have Matthew Patel's chevron that indicates that he's the first Evil X that comes up here, and you also have this transition here that shows you a rotary phone dial that is used in quite a few scenes in the movie. There's also this amazing transition in the end where you can see Knives Chow's silhouette. This is actually a frame that's directly out of the comic book, and that frame from the comic book is what transitions into the first scene of the movie, which is awesome. There are so many more things that I'm sure that I overlooked, like this one where Scott's sister, played by Anna Kendrick, her character is actually represented by coffee stains since she works as a barista in the cafe that Scott goes to. This is another thing I spotted. You can see that Kim Pine's name comes out of Envy Adams' name. This is essentially because Scott used to date Kim before Envy. And I've seen this movie multiple times, but I still keep spotting things that are either references to the comic books or references to bands or artists like the Plum Trees. I could keep making this video forever and I'd still not be able to cover all of the references just in this title sequence. How many Easter eggs and references were you able to spot? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.